Hello, welcome back. My name is Sybonn, and this is a new Terraria build to add to the boss theme house builds that I've been working on, the Plantera-rium. So you might have already seen, I've already built the first phase of the Plantera, but after all the comments to try out the second phase, I thought I'd give it a go. And I actually wanted to say a big welcome to all the new subscribers that I've had thanks to the Chippy raid. And if you haven't already, check me out on social media, and I've actually been updating my Patreon page. So if you wanted to support me and download some of my builds, then check that out. There's a link on the screen and in the description as well. So back to the build. So the main idea I had for this was having a big greenhouse which had some mutant plant inside it, which is growing so big that it's crashing out the sides. And as we know, that's the Plantera. And you'll see what I mean when I get to the end. So I wanted this to look as exotic as possible within this little terrarium. And the main blocks I used was a variety of slime blocks. So the frozen, normal and the pink slime to create the main body of the Plantera. Next I used sturdy fossil for the little teeth. And silly balloon for the little tongue thing in the middle. Once I smoothed down the edges, I used smooth marble wall to create the inner section background. And used natural rock painted lime green to create a bit of texture. And using a bit of magma wall painted lime green created that oozing kind of plant juice effect. Then I put the background leaf in by actuating a frozen slime block so I could still get into the main build. Once the main Plantera structure was done, I used pearl wood on the outer structure of the greenhouse and used glass wall across the whole thing to create the overall greenhouse effect. And randomly dotted some broken areas where the Plantera has burst through. And actuating some of these little glass blocks made it look like little glass shards for the broken edges. So enough of the time lapse, now I'm going to show you the main build. So here is the finished build. I hope you guys like it. If you do, then please leave a like because it really helps me out. And if you want to see some more of my builds, then please subscribe. Now on to the build. So I'm going to show you around and show you some of the key little bits around here. And first of all, I'm going to show you this little mud bamboo hut that I've made for the Dryad, and it's a valid NPC house. As you can see, it's got a nice little exotic water feature that flows all the way down into this little pit here, and it's actually a frog shrine, and you'll see all these little frogs come out using that logic sensor, which is actually an access point to get through into this little section. But first of all, I'm going to show you this little tree that I made, and it's just to break up the color a little bit because it's kind of looking a bit too green. So I went onto a pink look, and this is just using leaf wands, so the mahogany and the regular living wood sort of leaf wand, and the same with the wood as well. And then using strange plants, it kind of breaks up all the color and gives it a bit more texture. And then on top of that, using jungle seeds, it creates these vines, which just again adds a bit of contrast. So as you've already seen, you can access this little section by this little logic sensor, which breaks this little vine, which goes all the way up here and breaks out of the side of this terrarium. Now you saw earlier that this glass shard, it kind of is broken up by the glass block, and if you actuate them, it leaves this little black outline and it kind of looks like spiky broken glass. And up here you can see the top little claw of the Plantera, and it looks great at night as well because I used gem spark for the actual eye pulp sort of bit of it. I think it's an eye, I'm not really sure. Tell me in the comment section if I'm right with that, I'm not really sure. And moving on over here, you will see the little suspended cage which you saw in the little cutscene at the start, and I've put the guide in the cage. I don't know what NPC you guys would probably put in there. Write in the comment section which NPC you would put in to the cage. And I always, well, from the last build, I loved this kind of look with the ebon wood, and it kind of looks like rope being tied around a beam, and then it helps suspend this little cage. And then over here is the main entrance into the terrarium. So basically this is another broken area, and it's all overgrown, as you can see, and it's got little jungle spores dangling down. Just add a bit of color to it, and again they glow, and I'll show you that shortly. But you can access and exit and enter in through this little section as well. So over here on the left hand side, you've got a nice exotic water feature pouring in just to make it look a little bit nicer, and you've got another tree here which I'll show you, and you've got a queen bee lava jar. I just thought I'd put that in there just to spice it up a little bit down here. And you've got little hives and little like firefly lanterns. You'll see at night it looks really nice as well. And you've got a nice little overgrown kind of rootage. So like on the other side, you've got a nice big long vine which breaks through the outside of the terrarium all the way up, and it's got another little claw grabber thing trying to grip hold of someone. Now onto the main section of the build, and that is of the Plantera itself. Now you enter in through here, and to enter into the main body of the Plantera is it's got a nice little access hole through the little its face. I just couldn't think of the best word for that. And you've got a little water feature in there just to make it look a little bit juicy, like it's got some sort of Plantera juice. I don't know, it just sounds a bit weird. You've got 4 little sections over on each side, and it keeps it all sort of symmetrical. You've got the witch doctor, and you've got the relic here as well, and it kind of all fits in quite nicely using the bamboo sort of living lanterns. And if you turn them off, they kind of look like little buds just sort of dangling there, which I kind of like the look of that. Over here as well, this is my bedroom, so you've got little storage areas, and you could easily turn this into sort of normal workstation, so you can put some crafting, all sorts of things. So really practical to be used as a normal base. So here's the build at night, and I like to make my builds look quite cool at night. I try to, and so you can still see what's going on. And I use gem spark in certain areas just to make it look a little bit more interesting, and same with the petals as well, so you can see that. And over here to the Dryads Hut, you've got these little hanging flame lanterns and little sort of pinky hue to all these little areas just to lighten it up and make it look really funky. And like I said, these little dangling jungle spores are here, and again using gem sparks on the background, it kind of brightens those up. And these firefly lanterns look great hanging from this tree. And lastly, to show you on the map, because it kind of looks cool as I fall into the Plantera, because the frozen slime block is very slippery actually, but it looks great on the map. I think I really like it. You kind of can see the whole overall look of the actual build. Let me know what you think. If you did like it, then like I said, please leave a like because it does help me out. And also if you've got a suggestion of what build you want me to do next, or another boss, if you want me to try something else, or you want me to try a certain phase of one of the bosses as well, I would happily do that as well, because I love the suggestions from you guys. So please write them down in the comments. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next build. Bye.